Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
We won't ban transgender people from serving just because the president tweeted it, seems to be the message from the US military today. In a memo, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs said that the current policy would not change until the implementation guidelines were given. President Trump's tweet yesterday, which seems to have taken even the Pentagon by surprise, has been met by an outcry, including many leading members of the military and the Republican Party.
Today's Sunday, and I'm going to do what I always do on Sunday, which is go to church.
President Trump's tweet yesterday, which took everybody by surprise. Well, I'm glad to say we're joined by Abigail Austin, who was the first officer in the British Army to transition from a man to a woman, becoming a champion for transgender equality. She recently travelled to the United States to make a documentary for Channel 4 on North Carolina's controversial bathroom bill. She joins us now from Manchester. And actually, Abby, this affects you very considerably. Just tell us what impact Mr. Trump's tweet is having on you.
Well, good evening, John. It's good to be with a friendly face after what's been a pretty traumatic 36 hours. Because you're absolutely right. I'm on the cusp of deploying yet again to Afghanistan in support of the NATO mission there in an attempt to find a resolution to what has been America's longest war. It's a position that I secured in open competition and one for which I was supported by 3 of America's most senior generals to get. So to find myself literally hours before I get on a plane to go to war in the middle of what's become an international firestorm has been upsetting, to say the least.
But you do seem to, I think, possibly get some comfort from fairly senior figures in the military in the United States who seem not really prepared to take Mr. Trump's tweet at face value until they get some guidelines.
Well, what you've seen today is General Dunford, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, who is a former boss of mine and is an extremely smart and astute man, buy the president some breathing space by stating that the policy that was set under President Obama will continue until he gets a clear policy direction. However, that doesn't change the situation for the thousands of people like myself who came out in good faith from last year onwards to serve their country honourably and are doing so in the face of what is now, at best, a divisive position within the United States itself.
How are you treated? I mean, when you're right in the thick of it there in Afghanistan, does it really make any difference at all?
When you're on the front line, it doesn't, frankly, because when you're sat there in a foxhole, what you really want to know is if the person next to you has got your back. And that doesn't matter, as the Commanding General of 18 Airborne Corps put to me recently, whether you're a man, woman or a giraffe. It's whether you have the talent to do the job. And I'm pleased to say that in the past, and I hope to in the future, been proven to have that necessary talent. However, I'll take it back again to the point that that does not help the thousands of people who are currently serving, who are now facing an uncertain future at best. That's the issue that needs to be resolved now, and it needs to be resolved very quickly indeed.
And is it really that number who have transitioned or are in the process of transitioning?
Well, a RAND Corporation report that was recently published said that there's a minimum of 2,500 individuals who have come forward in the past year who will now be looking for some kind of succour from the Pentagon and from the White House itself as to where their direction and their fate now lies. But let's be clear on this, that if President Trump doesn't sort this, he will face a firestorm of litigation, because I cannot think of an employment tribunal anywhere in the world that will support what is effectively a dismissal policy conducted over social media. And if this does go to... It's pretty incredible,
though. It's pretty incredible. There you are going to war, effectively, and you've got an enemy in front of you, and you've got somebody questioning your right to exist behind you.
Well, let's separate out the actions of Commander-in-Chief over what's really 3 tweets from the exemplary individuals that I've served with within the Pentagon. Now, I've spoken to senior leadership within the US military today, and I can guarantee you, because I met with them literally 72 hours ago, that none of them knew this was coming. So at the moment, I think we need to frame this in terms of a unilateral political action by President Trump that has not yet been ratified.
Right.
I've been very gratified to see the reaction from the US Senate and from individuals like John McCain, who have come out against this. And that's my hope for the future.
Abby Austin, thank you so much for joining us. We're out of time.